Well, happy Monday. For everyone that watches my videos, I just want to say thank you. I know there's only a handful of people that watch my videos, and I just want to give a big thank you to those that watch my videos. It really means a lot to me, and it's the little things that get to me, and that's one of the little things that gets to me. But we're going to talk about something that just it's really hard to talk about. I did do a video last week about the tragic death of Jordan Neely, and it is very tragic. So I understand where he was coming from on that day that he was having a either a panic attack or a mental breakdown, and his actions kicked off a set of reactions that led to his ultimate demise, unfortunately. And it's very tragic. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to take away from that tragic because it is very tragic, and I don't want to take away from anything from that. And I think he does deserve some level of respect because what he went through as a child kind of leads us to what happened that day and the failures of the state and the city that didn't get him the help he needed. But this is videos from keep on forgetting that I have to redo it. All right. So back on track. Daniel Penny, which is the Marine that took action that day to what he probably thought was to save lives. Unfortunately, he took the life of Jordan Neely. I don't think he set out to do that. I don't even think he thought that was a possibility. But unfortunately, that is what happened. So the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, caved under pressure to charge him without going through a grand jury. But Daniel Penny's lawyer fires back at critics, accusing the client of racial motivation. He was protecting everyone. Penny was charged with second-degree manslaughter Friday for fatally choking Jordan Neely on the New York City subway. I will say, if he gets a jury of people that ride the subway, I think there's a good chance that he will get off. He will get acquitted. A lawyer representing Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old Marine, who was charged in the New York City subway chokehold for the death of the erratic black homeless man. I mean, I'm just reading what the article says. I don't necessarily agree with the adjective. Black homeless man insists on Monday that the exclusive interview with Fox News Judge Jeannie Pirro that race did not play a factor in his client's actions and claim, on the contrary, are not based on the facts. Steve Reiser comments to Pirro on will air Monday on The Five. A preview clip released from the show, Pirro asked Reiser to address critics accusing Penny of acting with racial motivations during the May 1st altercation. Of course, he did the perp walk so everyone could see it, so people won't riot, even though they really wanted a first degree or second degree murder with intent to kill. But even then, he does, if he's found guilty, he can serve anywhere from, I think, 10 to 15 years if convicted. That's a good chunk of his time. None of that is based on facts, Reiser responded, as race is simply not motivated for Danny. He's the one that put himself in danger to save who? All the people on that train. Black people, brown people, white people. It didn't matter to Danny. Danny put his life at risk to save all those people. Had nothing to do with race. Penny was charged with second-degree manslaughter Friday for fatally choking Jordan Neely, 30, on a New York train. An incident caught on video. Prosecutors say Neely, who suffered from mental illness, had been making threats and scaring passengers. When Penny would drag them to the floor, wrapped his arm around his neck to restrain him. Attorneys for Penny, Thomas Kenneth, argued that Penny acted to protect himself and others who were being threatened. Penny served 4 years as a Marine before he was honorably discharged and has been a pillar of the community. Kenneth told Judge Kevin McGrath that he was a week shy from graduating from college at the time of this incident and lived in New York City, his area, his entire life. His lawyer noted many have rallied behind Penny, hailed him as a hero for protecting other passengers on the train. Donations have poured into his legal defense fund in the days since his arraignment, surpassing a staggering $2 million as of Monday afternoon. Penny faces a maximum to 5 to 15 years in prison if convicted. He turned himself in to the police early Friday. Yeah, I'm not going to read the comments. In case anybody was wondering what manslaughter is a legal term used to describe the act of killing another human being in a way that is less capable than murder. The distinguish between manslaughter and murder was first made by the ancient atheist lawmaker Draco in the 7th century BC. Manslaughter is an unlawful killing that does not involve malice, a forethought, intent, or to seriously harm or kill, or an extreme reckless disregard of life. The absence of malice of forethought means that manslaughter involves less moral blame than the either first or second degree murder. Let's see here. Kid Rock, a top donor to Daniel Penny's defense in New York subway chokehold. Penny's Give Said Go campaign is the number 2 performer ever for crowdfunding sites. Kid Rock is one of the top donors of Marine veteran Daniel Penny Legal Defense Fund after a 24-year-old was charged in New York. Yeah, we know this. Go send fundraiser. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're going to open that up. Has surpassed $2 million in donations with the help of a musician who gave $5,000 and a pointed message to District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Penny is a hero. Alvin Bragg is a POS. Kid Rock. The message reads, a representative for the American Badass Kroner confirmed that he was behind the donation. Donations have poured from all over the country since Penny was charged with second-degree manslaughter Friday. Prosecutors said Neely, who suffered from mental, was making up. We know this. Kid Rock, 52, who was given the name Robert Ritchie, wasn't the only big-name donor. Republican presidential candidate and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, 37, donated $10,000. The Ohio resident said Neely should have been behind bars or a mental institution, not free to terrorize his fellow citizens. You have to have an abundance of rule of law, he told Fox News Digital, than someone who tries to assist and protect people based on the current facts we have is now being prosecuted. That represents the perversion of how the system is supposed to work. As of Monday morning, 42,000 people have donated to the campaign on the Christian crowdfunding site. Let's see here. Penny lawyers Thomas Kenneth and Steve Reiser launched the fund on Tuesday to raise money to defend their client against criminal charges and potential civil lawsuits. The attorney said any leftover contribution would be donated to mental health advocacy program in New York City. The fundraiser was boosted Saturday by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Twitter. We stand with good Samaritans like Daniel Penny. Let's show this Marine American got his back, he wrote. Chicago native from the south side of Chicago, political commentator Tom Poole, who was going to get a van down the river, contributed $20,000 Monday morning, the largest single donation yet. Penny is the subway good Samaritan, and we're lucky to have brave souls like him who are willing to do the right thing, Pohl tweeted an announcement or announcing the contribution. Jacob Well, the co-founder of Give Send Go, told Fox News Digital that Penny Campaign is the number 2 top performer since it launched in 2015. At one point, donations were coming in at $1,000 a minute, Wells says. It's definitely sparked an emotional response with many people, he added. Canadian truck campaign Freedom Convoy 2022 holds the top spot of all times. GoFundMe campaign was set up for Neely's family to raise more than $125,000. Neely's tragic death has divided the city, with many New Yorkers condemning Penny as a murderer while others are calling him a hero. The slain man has been arrested more than 40 times and has a history of violent attacks in the Manhattan subway. I guess the question is that relevant? Will that be brought up, be allowed to be brought up in the court? Or is it just going to be the moments that led up to it? Outreach workers were so familiar with Neely that he was one of the city's top 50 lists of homeless people most in need of help, and an internal roster kept by the Department of Homeless Service, the New York Post reported. In 2021, Neely punched a 67-year-old woman in the face, breaking her nose and orbital bone. 4 months earlier, he hit another woman in the face, according to court records obtained by Fox News Digital. In 2019, he sucker punched 2 men in the face at different subway stations 1 month apart, breaking one victim's nose, according to the documents. So he's not necessarily a good person, to be honest. But I'm talking about Jordan Neely. He wasn't a good person. He was a broken person. His mother was killed at the age of 14 by his stepfather at the time. He had to testify to put away his stepfather in prison. So I understand the mental health issue of this, but this does not give him an out to terrorize people in the subway. I do think this person is a hero. I think he stood up to what he thought was a threat. He neutralized the threat the best that he could. Unfortunately, Neely, it doesn't show it. Unfortunately, this person through his actions, set off a reaction that led to his unfortunate death. Daniel Penny's legal defense funds. This is givesendgo.com/Daniel_Penny. I'm going to have a link down below. It's already raised $2,257,821. Daniel Penny is a 24-year-old college student, decorated Marine veteran, facing a criminal investigation stemming from him protecting individuals on the New York subway train from an assailant who later died. Funds are being raised to pay Mr. Penny's legal fees to incur for any criminal charges filed in any future civil lawsuits that may arise, as well as expenses related to his defense. All contributions are greatly appreciated. Any proceeds collected which exceeds those necessary to covered Mr. Penny's legal defense, will be donated to mental health advocacy program in New York City. All funds will be sent and managed by law offices of Razor and Kinetic PC. *****. So we got people donating. You got Sylvia Wolfson, $100, anonymous donor, $50. Don donated $5, anonymous $100. So he's definitely getting the financial support he needs. And I'm definitely sharing this link. It's going to be on the down below in the description if you want to donate. Because I do think we need to start protecting our own. It doesn't even matter the skin tone of this person. This person is an American who saw a threat and did something in New York city of all places. I don't know what people want. Do they people want to be? Does the status quo only want victims? Because I thought everyone was on board when the barista, is it barista or person that had to defend himself with a knife, charges were dropped because of mass protests. The security guard was being charged and was had charges dropped after a protest. But this person does something similar, but because he's white and the person's black, you gotta go charge him. This is racially motivated from New York. We gotta send a message to New York that if you're going to allow self-defense for darker toned people, black people, or immigrant people, you have to allow people to have self-defense if they're white. Because this is what it is. It's basically a self-defense. Actually, it's more than self-defense. This is self-defense of his life and the defense of others that were in that car. I mean, sure, I think New York has a duty to retreat, but where are you going to retreat if you're in a car, in a subway car? You're going to go to another car? Well, if this person follows you to the very last car and you can't get past them, then are you allowed to fight back? And I'm also tired of the racial divide that these people have. I have no respect for the organization Black Lives Matter because I'm pretty sure they got him charged because he's white. I'm going on a little rant, which is not probably good for this, but he did the right thing. Unfortunately, Jordan Neely's actions set off a set of reactions that unfortunately led to his death, which was caused by this person. But he acted in self-defense and the defense of others in that car. So with that being said, I am going to leave this link down below in the description. Please donate if you can, if you can afford to, or share the link at the very least. Take this link and share it to your Twitter and your Truth, or your Facebook groups, your Discord groups, because we do need to stand behind this Marine, which is a hero. I'm just going to end it there. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.